I was sexually active in my past relationship, and now because I've met you, since you don't want to do it, well, okay, that's fine. It's only a matter of time before that guy decides that, you know what, I don't feel love because I'm not getting sex.
Anytime it's Valentine's Day, I always remember the song. Valentine is coming. Where is your boyfriend? You are sitting alone. You are so
Lonely.
lonely. But I mean, there was a lot of pressure.
I found that very annoying though.
Tell me about it.
I remember that song. I heard it when I was in uni,
Yes.
and not German uni, but Nigerian university. I believe at that time, either I was single or my boyfriend at the time was in another university.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just always so much pressure. I dreaded Valentine's Day because of the pressure was just too much. The people who had boyfriends,
Yeah.
the day of the Valentine, they are just raving about their man or their boyfriend, and that whole day you'll be seeing deliveries, bouquet of flowers, cakes. I mean, on the bright side, I always had lots of cakes to eat thanks to the cosmates and friends that I had who were in relationships with people who had money to
Yeah.
buy cake. But I did not like that song because it just usually reminded me of my singleness or lack of physical partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today, guys, listen, we're not here to bring any pressure. There's no pressure. Valentine has come and it has gone. We are here to bring good vibes.
Yes.
It's the month of love. Everyone is deserving of love. Either you have a partner or not. And particularly, as we said in our previous episodes, that this month we're dedicating it to those who are actually single. So we're here for you. We're here for you.
And may I also add, I don't know if this is the right place, but I will still add it that this time, this whole month, don't allow anybody pressure you. You're already loved by Jesus. The greatest lover of all time
Mm-hmm.
already loves you, and you are already enough by yourself because you are loved by God. Whether or not you know it, you can know it, but in case you don't know it, I'm here to tell you that.
Yes, and I second that. Speaking of knowing that you're enough, I remember we had a nice time watching the Young and Free conference, right, on YouTube, and there was a question. It was like a Q&A session, and the lady came out and she was courageous enough, I must say, to ask a question about her current relationship, or let's say situationship. She is in this situationship and she's been in it for over a year, and her question was wrapped around the fact that she felt like she was not good enough for this guy, that she was not bringing enough value to the relationship, and she was like questioning herself. And it made us think, at least when we sat back to discuss about it, that there are different situations where people find themselves in,
Mm-hmm.
and they believe it's a love situation. They believe they're in love, or that the person who is their partner loves them, but they are questionable situations. They are situations where you need to actually ask yourself, or maybe have someone else tell you that, if you're in a relationship with this guy or situationship with this lady, and you're always questioning your value, your self-worth, should you like have a rethink, and it will be nice for us to talk about those kind of situations where it should be like a warning sign. Is this real love, or are you in something that is camouflaged as love but it is another thing?
Mm-hmm.
And the first one, like we just spoke about, is if you're in a love situation or love relationship where you feel like you second guess yourself almost
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Mm-hmm.
You start questioning your identity. You start questioning if you are a valuable person.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean, right?
Yeah, maybe we can expand a bit more on the Q&A,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the context. The lady has been in this situationship for more than a year, during which the guy would come, they will have whatever it is they're having, talking, and then the guy will ghost her for months, then he will come back. And she said something along the lines of she feels like she's not bringing enough to the table. And how can she increase her value so that she can bring more into the relationship? And that was very sad. The moment I heard it, I just knew that there was a problem. I'm not even a psychologist, I'm not a counselor, at least not yet, but just hearing that she's having to look inward and judge herself that something is wrong with her. That's why this guy is behaving like this. Is a red flag already. And I love what our pastors said. They were like, you need to end that relationship for sure. It's not a relationship. You think you are in a relationship with someone, but this person is not in a relationship with you. It should be two people working together,
That's
hand
right.
in hand, to, progress whatever friendship or relationship they have with each other. And having told her to break up, they then told her to try and do some work on herself, get friends in her life who can make her see
Oh.
her value, because I believe everybody is of value, worthy of respect, worthy of love.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you don't even know your self worth, if you don't know how valuable you are, if you think that you have to be constantly validated by someone else for you to feel like you are valuable, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's a situation that singles you don't want to be in. So
Yes.
if you're dating someone that makes you feel like you are not enough, you always have to be doing, showing, proving. That's quite exhausting.
Yes, you should check. You should have a second look. No, nobody should make you feel like you're not good enough. Of course, this does not mean you shouldn't develop yourself, because I also understand where there are situations where people are not developing themselves. They really can't bring any value to the table. That's the only value that they think they can bring to the table is their body, or their money. Like,
Mm,
speaking from a man's perspective. So for some men, they just think if they give you money, there's nothing more they can add to you. They don't need to be spending time with you, giving you their attention. Or from a female's perspective, a female feels like, what should I bring again? I mean, I'm bringing my body, I'm bringing myself to you. What's more? So we just to bring the balance to it,
mm,
develop yourself, but develop yourself for yourself, right? And when you develop yourself, it would impact your relationship. That's the truth.
mm,
But if you're in a situation where you constantly second guess yourself, the person makes you question your worth, your ideas, your values,
mm,
yeah, you have to really check that,
mhm,
and have someone who can help you reevaluate that relationship.
mhm.
Is there any other one, or is there one you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I feel like there are situations where people would say, if you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would sleep with me. That's usually the most common, talking from a woman's perspective, that quite often love is interpreted as selflessness, in a sense that the woman's body is what suffers.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy would make the lady feel like she needs to sleep with him to prove that she loves him. That's definitely not love. That's manipulation. In fact, I feel like if a man actually loves a woman, he should be willing to understand her values from the first instance, right? They need to have that conversation about values, what is important. And both of them should definitely be on the same page about the whole intimacy topic. And so, in fact, my own red flag, first off, is being with a man that says something like, yeah, I was sexually active in my past relationship. And now, because I've met you, since you don't want to do it, well, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time before that guy decides that, you know what, I don't feel love because I'm not getting sex, because I'm not getting your body. And then before you know it, it turns to a manipulative situation where it's like, I mean, don't you love me? If you love me, what's the big deal? It's no big deal. I'm going to marry you anyway. That's such a trap, such a trap. And many women have stayed longer in relationships than they should have just because of this. Because once you start sleeping with a man, it just feels like you've unpacked a very delicate layer of yourself. And to walk away in that moment is much more difficult.
Yeah.
It becomes more challenging because you're like, okay, that's the highest I've given. That's the most I've given. And I completely love this guy. So where am I going to? But that's not love.
No, I agree with you. And I'm going to speak from a male perspective, I must say, because you're here to speak from a female perspective. From a male perspective, if you're in a relationship with a lady and there is pressure on you to break some of your values, then you should question it. And from a male's perspective, it's always a case of, if you are a guy, you are hardworking, right? You have an ambition, you have something you're trying to do with your life, or maybe you're focusing on something, and you have discussed this with your partner. Like, see, I'm trying to chase this thing, I'm trying to achieve this thing, and she's always coming like, if you love me, you should spend this extra time with me. If you love me, you should call me 10 times. If you love me, you should, do this. But you, from a male's perspective, you know that, and to be honest with yourself, you know you're trying to make sure that you are available, or you spend some time with this partner of yours. And if she's trying to be manipulative, because not only men can be manipulative, women also can, and she's trying to just get you to break that your value of hard work or of being ambitious, trying to achieve what you want to achieve because she just wants to spend extra 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours with you every day, then check it. Of course, the balance is, you shouldn't be too busy for the person that you claim to love. Create time for her. But if she's always just being too needy, I need you, I want to be with you, I want to be with you 24 hours, how are you going to achieve your goals? How are you going to build a family? How are you going to progress in your career? So as a guy, watch out. If the lady is trying to pressure you to break your values, that's manipulation, that's a red flag. Pay attention to it. And this one, I must say, and I've seen it play out many times, and it is that some people are in situations where they believe that it's a love situation, but it's really not. And it's a case where you are with this guy or you are with this lady, and there's just this undue sense of urgency. Like, we talk today, and then almost immediately the person is just trying to jump certain steps or phases that should help you uncover or know the person better, or that time would reveal. And so there's just this sense of urgency. Oh, let's do this, let's agree on this, let's pick a date, let's marry, I mean, you guys just met each other like maybe 1 day or 2 days ago, or like a week, and the person is just putting some form of pressure on you to get things done fast. It's one of two things. It could be, I must say that it could be that there could be some genuineness to it, so where the person believes like, I like you, I know you, I want you, and I want us to get things done, but more often than not, you have to check. There's an ulterior motive most times. If someone is not willing to go through the process of getting to know you and for you to know them, and to take things, steadily, and things to, evolve over time, and there's pressure and there's this sense of urgency, you have to check again. Like, why should we rush? Why should we do this immediately? Why should we wait now? Why do you want to meet my parents now? Like, we're just talking. Why do you want to meet my siblings? Just let's take it. Let me know you. Sometimes it can even be a case where the person is like, I want to come to your house. I want to see you. Wait now. You will see me. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're in a relationship or you're in a situationship, whatever the case might be, and you always feel this urgency coming from one side, right? Like, let's do this. And you know that this urgency is not necessarily something that is the best, or the urgency is bypassing certain processes that needs to be taken, you have to question it. That's it. Just question it.
I must say though that there are some cases that the one partner already knows what they want from the very onset. And so they're like, hey, I'm not here to waste your time. I want to marry you. Let's get married. And everything is done within a few weeks. And it works out. But those are extreme cases
Yes.
that I would say, because I remember when I was in school in Nigeria, there was this lady. She was one of the, I don't remember her position. Seemed like she was leading the one of the departments, not departments, but like one of those units in the student services arm. And she was probably in her 30s, maybe mid 30s, or yeah, I would say mid 30s. I don't know her exact age. And she was married within 6 months. She told us the story that she met this guy. She had been trusting God for a life partner. And she met this guy. The first few days, he already told her his intentions, and everything just happened, boom, like a blur, right? But that is an exception. I just wanted to mention that because there are cases where it works out. But the general rule is it's always helpful to take your time. I don't think that marriage is something people should have a sense of urgency for. Like, because I'm such a girly girl and lover girl, I tend to watch all these content where you hear people ask questions about the person that they've already married and say, oh, this person has anger issues. What can I do? This person, one thing is wrong. How do I? And all these things, they weren't things that developed in the marriage. This person already had that trait. This person already had that behavior before, right from the onset of the relationship. If you had taken your time, you would have noticed. If you had taken your time, you would have been able to question. If you had taken your time, maybe okay, you even entered the relationship. You will not rush to say, okay, I'm going to marry this person in spite and
Yes,
think that I would change
the
them,
person now.
because people don't change if they don't want to.
That's right.
It's not you that would change someone, you
Yeah.
know? And so just take your time.
Yeah. Like I agree with what you said that there are cases where this is not urgency as such. It is like someone knows that this is what I want.
Mm.
Person is ready, person is prepared and finds their soulmates, and they go for it and get married in 6 months or even less. The time frame is not the point here. The point is you know that and you feel like this urgency is there's something behind it. You have a feeling like it's not normal for someone to want to push like fast, and a way you can sense that this urgency is not the right one is when you try to push back, the person doesn't seem to take it well.
Mm.
So the person is trying to say, oh, let's do this, and then you go like, okay, can we not do this now? Can we do this like much later in the future? The person's response is not one of understanding that, okay, no pressure. And to be honest, one of the things that I practiced with you when we started dating was I told you clearly that I want to have a serious relationship with you from the get-go, right? And I told
Not
you,
even when you say get go, someone would think it's from the friendship, but it was when you were asking me out. That
yes,
was when you,
of course, we started as friends,
yeah, we
right?
started as friends.
But then when I knew that this was the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, then I approached you and I told you this, that this is my intent for this relationship. This is what I want. But I remember telling you also that there's no pressure. Like you don't have to tell me yes or no or whatever. Like take your time, because I just believe if you allow people to take their time, let them go and decide, and if you come back and tell me yes, good, we move. If not, okay, but there's no pressure. So you shouldn't feel pressure essentially in your relationship. But another thing that I have found to be very rampant nowadays is when people get into certain relationships and on account of that relationship they abandon their friends and some meaningful relationships. So it's a case where you fall in love with this guy or you fall in love with this lady, and it's like you either choose me or choose them, and almost like this person was a very jolly friend. This lady, her, she was very friendly, open, and then she got into a relationship. I'm sure you've met people like that, or at least some people like that. And it's like, where are you? I can't find you, and you try to reach out, and it's obvious that it's a case where this you just feel like there's no this it's we
It's
didn't
not
fight,
normal.
but it's not normal. It seems like you are caged, and that's a big red flag. That's not a love situation. If you are in a situation where you can't have friends, like your partner cannot trust you with your friends, and it comes and says, okay, these friends that you have, cut ties with them. And I must say that I'm not saying there are some people there's some friendships that should be cut. Right? There are some friendships that are not adding value to you and they are not helping you to be better, or they are helping reinforce some of your negative, character or vices. And then if you have a partner that tells you, you have to cut ties with these friends, they're not helping you, it's a different case. But what I'm talking about more is there's some meaningful friendships in your life and you know they're meaningful, and then you get into a relationship and your partner is like, I don't want you to have this. I don't know, for me, I've seen it and I know that it doesn't always end well.
It even goes beyond friendship in the sense that I, for example, enter into a relationship and all of a sudden I stop talking to all my friends. There's also the layer of losing a valuable part of my identity.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that I loved to do, the places I loved to go before, the lifestyle that I had, like the things that I loved to do that made me come alive. All of a sudden, those layers are shed until I become a different person entirely. And these things happen very little by little. Like it happens, it's not a snappy thing. It's not something that happens like and then you notice it. No, it's like layers, like when you peel an onion, an onion has layers, right? And then you remove one part today, remove another part tomorrow, but over time you find that the onion is empty.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of see it.
Yeah.
So any relationship that you're in where after a while you just realize that, wow, you've changed so much. You are, maybe let's say you used to go to church before, you loved the Lord. Now you realize you don't even go to Sunday, you don't go to church anymore. The friends that you had, you've cut them off. The projects you were working on, you no longer have enthusiasm for that. So your life is literally just centered around this person that you have met. That's so
Yeah.
that's such a trap, because how can you just lose what the parts of you that make you you because of another person? At the end of the day, you become resentful and bitter because time will go, years will go, and you will just realize, oh my God, who am I now? I was never really like this. I used to enjoy living life, but all of a sudden
Like a shadow of yourself.
I'm just here, So
Yeah. Those are things that you should pay attention to.
yeah.
Relationships will change you. That's the truth. There are certain things that you will not do as frequent as you used to do when you were single. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is you get into a relationship and the very things that are good, I must say, right? Good things, beneficial things, or fun things that don't have any negative impact in your life, in your relationship. You just realize that because now you're with this person, it's almost like you are forced not to do it. It's sometimes the force could be subtle. It's not like, there's control in relationships where the control is like forceful control, and there's also like subtle control where it's almost like your will and your willpower is taken away from you. You like have to ask for permission. You need to, because you're not sure if you say you want to do this thing, how would he react? How would she react? Almost like you're walking on eggshells. You have to watch out. I believe in a relationship, there is compromise. There are times where you have to like find a middle ground between you and your partner's desires and needs. But if you're with someone that constantly invalidates your feeling, your desire, your needs, and makes you feel guilty for desiring something that is positive, right, and has no negative impact in your life or your relationship, then you have to watch out for it, because that's really not love, that's control. You really have to watch out for it. But then what do you think about this? Some people are in relationships where they're really never good enough, and I feel like I'm asking you because I feel ladies experience this more. So the guy comes and is always like telling you, oh, you're not doing this well, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, and it's as though the person is giving a constructive feedback to you, or the person is trying to help you, but it is criticism. The person is always complaining about you or just letting you know that you're not doing something good enough. What do you say about this?
Because of the kind of person that I am, I won't be in that kind of relationship by the special grace of God.
You can't even be.
I will not be. No, I'm like, imagine
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just imagine it. I'm with someone who is always complaining about every single thing. I breathe air. The person is saying the air that you breathe is not enough. I I wake up in the morning. The person says,
Why are you
"No,
waking up
why are
this
you waking up?
late?
You should go back to bed." I stand up. The person is like, the way you stood is not, you're not standing right.
Always finding faults.
Always finding faults. That's such an exhausting relationship. And I don't wish it on anyone. So for women, yes, of course, there's this aspect of, I don't know if I should call it like the traditional mindset, or that draws from biblical reference where they say women should submit, but the submission is to your own husband,
Not even to your boyfriend. Oh.
not to boyfriend. It's to your own husband, but the husband already has a responsibility to love you as Christ loved the church and gave himself for the church. So if you are in a relationship with a man that is not loving you as Christ loved the church, but he's expecting you to submit, because that submission, the guy will be like, yeah, I'm correcting you, I want you to be better, and then he expects you to submit to the correction. He's not living up to his own end of the bargain, so he shouldn't have that expectation of you to do that.
Yeah.
So my advice would be to run away, because someone that's already correcting you, correcting your breathing, correcting your very existence, if you're now married, that's gobe.
Yeah, I agree.
Selah.
And to my guys out there too, I must also say that if you're with a lady who just never finds anything that you do as good, and she's always complaining, always saying, "Oh, you can do this, you can do better," and then comparing you with other guys and saying, why are you not doing this enough? You bought her roses, and she's saying, "Oh, why would you buy a red rose? You should have bought yellow rose." She just always criticizing you. Then you should check if this is really worth it. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be open to feedback. You must bring the balance also.
I wanted to say
Yeah,
that.
be
Yeah.
open to feedback. This is speaking to both men and women, boys and girls. Be open to feedback. Be willing to also give feedback to your partner, but it can't be 90-10, where 90% is always complaining and you're always highlighting the negative, and you only have 10. Something our pastor always says, he says, if you see something that is good, say it, talk about it. Most people have a bias to only talk about the negative and fault finding. And I also learned this way before I even got into a relationship with you, that if you want your relationship to thrive, use a magnifying glass on the good qualities of your partner. Right? And for the negative qualities of your partner, just use normal eye, because you want to try to magnify the good qualities, the amazing qualities that you have in the person, and celebrate that. And there will always be something that is not good enough. You don't want to magnify that. You want to let that have its place. See how you can help your partner, but don't be always complaining. Like, nobody thrives in that situation. Nobody thrives in an environment where you're always complaining and there's no commendation. That is such a good that's such a bad place to be. Cool. Lastly, I would like to round off with this point, and it is, there's some people that are in relationships that they know that they're supposed to end. Like, this relationship you're in, you're supposed to leave, but you feel trapped. You feel stuck. Like, if you go, you're like, if I leave this relationship, man, my life is gone.
Many times, if you check it, they've already started sleeping with each other.
They
So
have nudes,
they've shared nudes, they've done a lot, they've wasted years.
You see why the commandment of God is, there's wisdom in it.
Because if you don't have anything that is so, like, how long can you tolerate nonsense? If you know that the relationship is not good, please, what are you doing there?
what you're saying is so good. And this is my advice to everyone who is single. Work on yourself so much while you're single that you have every reason to say no to nonsense. Because when you have your values checked, you have your boundaries, you're doing well for yourself, you have zero tolerance for nonsense. If you're with a guy and the guy is doing anyhow, it's like, Mr. Man, get out.
Yeah.
Or if you are a guy and you're with a lady and the lady is doing somehow, if you have your things together, and this was my mindset. I'm not saying I'm a perfect guy, but I knew that if I approach a lady and the lady is saying, you're not for me, I don't feel, I'm like, okay, bye, you're lost. I move. It doesn't mean I'm the best guy in the world, but it's just because I know how much I've worked on myself. I know what I am. I know who I am, so I didn't have tolerance for nonsense too. So also from a lady's perspective, don't cast your pearls to people so early that it makes you feel so trapped and
Mm.
almost like I've seen and heard situations where the lady would get threatened by the guy, like leave and let me just leave first.
Yeah, that
Literally.
one is a very, because it happens too, right? It's such a delicate situation. It's different from even this one that we're talking about,
Hmm.
where the man is threatening the woman. So that one is abuse, right?
Yeah.
This one is even a different level. But I'm talking about the man is not abusing you, but you just cannot leave the relationship. It's either you are sleeping with him, or you've already seen yourself married to him many years ago, and you are still in that relationship. Years have gone by, 5 years,
Like, how do
six
I
years
start?
7 years. So that fear, like, how do I start again?
Hmm.
I've shared so much of myself with this person. This person knows all of me. Like, that thought of starting again. And I get it. It's very fearful because you're not getting any younger and you've already wasted all this time. So you end up telling yourself that maybe it's actually better to just stay than to walk away. But I'm like, I don't know. I can't relate.
I
I
know.
can't stay in a relationship that is not helping me to be better. I don't stay long in relation like unnecessarily. If I know that this thing, the way it's moving, is not moving well, I'm very happy to cut it. Cut it. But I mean, also, I must say that I started dating when I was young, like younger. So I had I built my experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was able to know what I wanted early on, which was what helped me not to tolerate nonsense.
Yeah.
So for some people, maybe it's only one person they've dated for, I don't know, forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have that much experience. Plus, when you date so long, most times it's very difficult not to compromise if you're with the same person for quite a long time. At some point, you guys are already doing things that married people do, and then it becomes more complicated. So yeah, may the Lord help you. That's
Yeah,
that's
yes.
I
And
would.
to be honest, what I would say to anyone who is in any of these situations we've spoken about and you don't know how to help yourself, seek for help because there's some things that you might not be able to navigate yourself. Hopefully you can find couples or friends that you can trust their counsel. Hopefully you are in a community or you're in a church where you can reach out to someone who can help you to find your freedom or to help bring things into the right state. But all of the things we've shared today, they are all markers. Like,
At least in our opinion.
yes,
Let's
from
put that.
yes, from our perspective, right? Of course, you can differ,
Disagree
you
with
can
us.
disagree, but
It's okay.
it's okay. But we believe that the things that we have shared are things that you can think about, and we hope it helps you in one way or the other. But if you've listened to, so, but if you've been, okay, but if you're here and you listen to this episode to those points, you are the real MVP. Thank you for listening. If you found this episode useful, you know how we do it. Please leave a comment. Leaving a comment means a lot to us because that's one way we can interact with you and we can, respond to you. If you have a question, leave a question. If you believe this episode will bless or will help benefit someone that you know, do the work, do the Lord's work, share it with the person, share it on your status, and we appreciate every of your effort. Till we come your way next week, we hope that you find the right love, find the right partner, and you enjoy your relationship.
All right, guys, take care and speak soon. Bye.
Ciao.